Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mid-Atlantic Mauling League's Dungeonbowl. We're in week number 8, the second to last week in regulation of the entire season. It is coming down to the wire here as teams scramble to make the top 8 so that they can try to win this competition and earn a spot in the Invitational at the end of the season. We've got a triple header today, and we're going to get started with Dead and Loving It versus the Grimdark Orchard, S-Beaver versus Crikey. We've got Vamps versus Orcs. Let's take a look at the standings before we take a look at these two teams this evening. In Division A, at the top of the leaderboard, is Odin and Snuffle, coached by Clyphus. They're a Norse team. They're 6-1-1. They are followed by the Gutterballs, coached by El Numerino. They're an Orc team. They are 4-3-0, and they are followed by none other than the NC Snakes, coached by Moob, a Dark Elf team. They're 4-2-1. Over in Division B, at the top of the leaderboard, are the Believe Broncos, two-time winners in this season so far. They are the Chaos Cup champions. They are the Spike Magazine Trophy champions. They're looking to three-peat and be Dungeonbowl champions as well. They're at the top with their Nurgle team. They're 5-1-1. In second place is Technobabble Incorporated. That's my human team. They're 4-2-1. And in third place are the Goodest Boys, Strike Back, Old Gamer Mike's Necro team. They're 4-0-3. Over in Division C, that's where we're getting started this evening. At the top of the charts, our Philosopher's Song, coached by Spire, a Lizard team with the best record in this competition so far. They have a record of 6-1-0. They are followed by the Discomancers, coached by Ian, a Necro team. They are 6-0-1. And MAML Nightmares, Festoon's Necro team, they're in third place. They're 4-2-1. SP Beaver says, okay, how much do I need to win by to have a chance to make the cut to the finals? Well, let's see, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I don't know. It's looking grim. But I wish you the best of luck. Dead Loving It are the home team this evening. They've got 16, 15, 14, 13 on the roster. Lewis Strauss, the number 16 Thrall, will not be starting tonight. That's going to bring their TV to 1,280,000 gold. They have the big guy, Uncle Albert II. That's the Vargas. They have a thrower, a runner, 2 blitzers, and a bunch of linemen. 4 dedicated fans and 5 re-rolls for this team. They're going to be up against the Orcs of the Grimdark Orchard. Have I been pronouncing this team incorrectly all competition? Is it the Grimdark Orchard? The Grimdark Orchard, 14 players on the roster here, is going to bring their TV to 1,380,000 gold. That's 100,000 gold going to the Vamps this evening. Probably looking to pick up a keg or two, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. It's Orc hard to me. All 4 big and blockers, all 4 blitzers, a big guy in the troll, a thrower, a gobbo, and 3 linemen. 1 apothecary, 4 dedicated fans, 3 rerolls. How are these two teams going to play? We'll talk about the away team first. Orc teams. They are a bashy team. Lots of strength in the big end blockers here. Strength 4, one of which, Mutsu Troxa, the number 1 big end blocker, has picked up the block skill. All 4 blitzers, being blitzers, have the block skill as well. Lots of AV on this team, so you have lots of players on the pitch at any given time. Hard to remove them, which means they're getting their blocks each and every turn. Not a whole lot of guard on the roster, but this is a team that wants to punch you in the face. Not a lot of modifying skills on the roster. We're not seeing a lot of Mighty Blow. We're not seeing any sneaky gets on the roster. So really, it's just about punching people. It's about getting those 2-die blocks, punching people with your block skill players. Perhaps Bloody Plowman there will be a center or some sort of anchor on a formation with that guard skill, letting that guaranteed assist to maybe even get the 3-die block on some of these players. But it's all about removing the thralls for the Orcs tonight. They're a bashy team. They want to punch. The thralls are the big weak point for the vampires, which we'll talk about in just a second. And they only have an AV of 8, so these Orcs will be going after those thralls ASAP, trying to get them off the pitch. The frenzy linemen could potentially be a way to try to expedite that. But of course, Tom put Crabapple, the number 14 lineman there, is injured, has a AV loss, so down to a AV of 9+. Not too bad, really. 9+ considered average. But Frenzy getting turning a 2-die block into a 4-die block, right? That's pretty huge. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the block skill, so you know, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Whether he's going to leverage the blitzers or maybe the Frenzy player to try to remove those thralls. But that's goal number one, right? You get the thralls off the pitch, you really cripple a vampire team. On offense here, the Orcs, they're gonna cage up. They're gonna have a tight cage. They're gonna, as they try to punch through those thralls, they'll be opening up those lanes and moving that cage down pitch slow and steady to try to score as late as possible. The Vampires, on the other hand, they've, in my opinion, if they're gonna win this, so we'll talk about them a little bit since we haven't seen a whole lot of them. Whoa, 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 whoa! Things have changed. Things have changed. I just realized I wasn't hitting the pedal. So things have changed here. They've gone from a TV of 1,280,000 gold down to a 1,130,000 gold. So they're picking up an extra 150, so 250,000 gold and petty cash going to dead and loving it here. Wow. So they've got, so what they need to rely on here, in my opinion, if they want to come out on top tonight, they've got to rely on these vampire, the hypnogaze on these vampires ASAP. They absolutely have to. They've got to use hypnogaze to disable players and go after the key targets on the Orc team. That probably means it's going to be those 4 blitzers. When Dead and Loving It's on defense, they can use hypnogaze to disable the points of the cage, go after the ball carrier. Very easy to do for a vampire team. I'm opining at this point, but if I were to run a vampire team, I'd probably be looking at 6 vamps. But it's always a tit for tat, right? It's the more vampires I have, the less thralls I have, and the problem here is the negatrait on these vampires is this bloodlust roll, right? They've got to roll it every time they activate. If they fail the bloodlust roll, they've got to end their activation next to a thrall, which they then bite the thrall, and then it's a straight injury roll. So as the thralls get removed by the Orcs, they're also getting removed by the vampires. And once they're gone, it's very hard for these vampires to really play the game at all, right? Because if they want to move forward and they fail a bloodlust roll, they've got to have a thrall in position to where they want to be, right? If they want to score and they fail a bloodlust roll, they've got to have a thrall there to be able to bite. And if they can't do it, they can't win. They can't play the game of Blood Bowl. So they're going to be very strong out of the gate. I wouldn't even be surprised if they try to go on defense to start, just to try to snake. It's going to be relatively, I don't know if easy is the right word, but with 4 hypnogaze, getting that ball out of the hands of a team that wants to cage up, not, I was going to say not a problem, but it's a kit in their that they have available to them. It's a tool in their tool belt, and they really want to be able to do that while they have thralls on the pitch, so that they can try to get that ball, maybe get that defensive score, and then as their team starts to whittle down on offense, maybe they can just rely on their high reroll count and these really, really strong vampires to punch it in one more time and get those two scores. I am over time here, so we're going to head over to see if this game's ready to go. But 250K in petty cash means that this team has options now. It has options with their inducement phase. 250K. Let's see what they can pick up. I mean, I think that's an Ivan. Yeah, Shapeson says Ivan's a solid choice. Yeah, I think that's an Ivan. Honestly, with 60K left, they can pick up a K, and they're going to want that cake for the KO'd thralls. But we'll see what SB decides to do here as we get game 1 of our triple header underway. All right, it looks like we have one of the coaches ready to go. Let's see if the other one's ready to go. All right, it looks like both coaches are ready to go, or at least are available, so this game should get underway shortly. 2 more games up this evening, starting our second game starting at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's UTC -5, so that's 58 minutes from now. We're going to have the Gutterballs versus the Conduct Committee, El Nubarino versus Berserker Tempest. That's going to be Orcs versus Goblins. And then we're going to close out the evening at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time with our third game of the evening. It's going to be the NC Snakes versus the Fishy Fiends, Move versus Ajax. That's Dark Elves versus Chaos Renegades. All right, looks like our second coach is logging in now. We'll get this game underway. Really tricky dance that the vampires have to dance, right? Lots of thralls means that you have these really, really powerful players in these vampires that you can kind of go to town with. But even when you have all your thralls, there's still a little bit of a disadvantage. And that's because if you're moving the ball on offense, right? Or if you're even repositioning your players, you need to have a thrall to where you want to go. And that is showing your opponent what your plans are ahead of time. Come on, Blood Bowl. Come on. Come on, Blood Bowl. All right, still waiting for the game to start. I was afraid I was going to get disconnected from this server. Welcome everybody to the stream this evening. Mr. Rocker Crocker, SP Beaver, Shame Stone, El Nubarino, Electrics Man, Festoon, Black Wolf, and Bad Dog. Welcome all to the stream this evening. Still waiting for this game to get underway. I'm just gonna click around and I'm gonna pretend that does something. Hey, look at that! All right. 250,000 gold in petty cash going to Dead and Loving It. I think that's going to be Ivan the Animal Death Shroud and a Bloodweiser Keg. It's not. 2 more rerolls. Oh, nope. Mr. Rocker says sometimes clicking until it works is a solution, indeed. So he's going to pick up Ivan and, Ivan and a keg. So those will be the inducements for the game. It looks like clear skies for this first game this evening. Ivan, I think most importantly, is just a reliable player, right? A reliable player on your vampire team. Oh, wait. It's not right, is it? No, that's clear skies. Dead and Loving It win the coin toss. They're not going to start on defense. Instead, they're going to start on offense. Fair enough. They can go either way with it. I think it's a real momentum killer when you have a team with Hypnogaze, right? When you have a team that has comparatively an easy time taking that ball away from an offense, it can be a real momentum killer for your opponent. When they're on offense, you just yoink that ball away. You're like, excuse me, you are now confused. You are now confused. I'm now going to blitz you. I'll take that ball. Thank you very much. I scored 1-0. Me. SP Beaver says, why do the Orcs have more spare players than me? Alder Burrito says, well, Orcs eat other teams' players, not their own. Shave Stone says, can we get a flag for too many players? Only if he starts the drive with too many players. Box formation here for the defense. The number 10 big guy, the Troll, the nose tackle for the defense. Strength 5 with strength 4 flanking either side in these big and blockers. Orcs can't spell box. Two in the right wide zone as Grimdark Orchard running out of time to set up their formation. So they're screening out the Vamps in the final seconds of setting up their formation here, deciding to cover the full width of the pitch. Shamestone rooting for the Vampire offense, and now they will set up their formation. Frank Drebin II will be back to receive. Isn't there a new Naked Gun movie, by the way? Or newish? All these thralls have an AV of 8. That's fairly brittle. Ivan the Animal, of course, has tackle, block, and juggernaut. He's a strength of 4, MA 6. It has Liam Neeson in it. I'll probably check it out whenever I can. If it's in theaters, I'm not going to watch it, but if it hits streaming services, I may. Oh man, I rewatched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I love that movie. It is a movie that, in my opinion, only works in very specific like, you have to know a certain thing about history, and if you're told what that thing is, I think it ruins the movie. But once you know, then it's like a 3-hour movie where we've got a fouling frenzy, so fouls are going to earn SPP for these players now. As Nuffle gets involved on the kickoff. Turn 1 now for Dead and Loving as the ball's kicked to the 16-yard line just off the right sideline. Oh, cool. Thanks, Elderbrun. I'll check it out. But yeah, like, you have to know a very specific historical event. But if you know what it is ahead of time, it kind of ruins the movie. And then knowing it, it's like a 3-hour, maybe a 2.5-hour movie that's all set up for just the last 20 minutes, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. 2-9 blitz by Ivan the Animal over in the left wide zone. Look at the knockdown here, looking for a 10+ to break armor. Are those bats on the ball, asks Mr. Rocket Cracker. There are indeed. I don't really know where they come from. They just sort of vanish in and out of the ball. Like, I don't know. Actually, I really don't like that ball. The fact that there are bats around it, it just seems busy to me. Number 15 moves back to cover the ball. That's Jim McKay, the second. Thrall's jobs on this team are to be bitten. One die block bet against Black Twig Spartan. Got the pal here. David Everett on the block. The Thralls all look like they're caught mid-tab. Yeah, needs to cover that sideline. And there's that failed bloodlust roll. So he can pick this ball up, but has to end next to a thrall. Now, if this is going to be the end of his turn, he cannot move next to the thrall, but then he's going to lose the ball. So when you fail that bloodlust roll, a number of things can happen, right? So you fail the bloodlust roll, you can re-roll it if you want, but if you fail that roll, you have to end next to a thrall and then bite the thrall at the end of your activation, which will result in a straight injury roll, which could be a knockout, a stun, a knockout, or a casualty. If you don't do that like that, then what happens is it's a turnover. If you were carrying the ball, you lose the ball. But he went to pick up the ball there, and so my argument. So my argument here was, well, if what he could do when the ball was here, let's call that a ball. When the ball was here, he could say, you know what? Well, maybe I'll just go here, or maybe I go here. It's the end of my turn. I don't have to bite a thrall. No problem. Moreover, they are confused, which means they lose their tackle zones. That's right. We're going to get started early with the Telestrator of Doom. Turn one back to Grimdark Orchard. It's brown versus black on the pitch. It's important to note as well that if you fail that bloodlust roll and you don't bite a thrall, you can't score either. So even if you can get into the end zone, if you don't have a thrall to bite, you are not allowed to score. Another thing you have available to you when you fail that bloodlust roll is you get the rare opportunity to change your declared action. So if you fail the bloodlust roll and you were doing something else, like going for a pass, you're allowed to say, you know what, actually, I'm just going to do a normal movement or a normal block instead, or whatever. You're allowed to change your activation to avoid like really getting hosed. Elder Marina says, I like that move of not bothering with the bloodlust. The ball's not in any danger. Yeah, I don't think there was any reason to lose a thrall this early. Fuji Ambrosia goes really stupid and then claps for themselves. Well done, Fuji. Well done. Shapeson says, I forgot, if you change your blitz to a move, if you can blitz with another player. No, you still declared your blitz, and so you can't blitz with another player, but you don't have to actually, can you blitz with another player? I don't think you can. Thank you. You cannot. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you still declared the blitz, but you're able to change your activation. Did I say activation? I will just say, I won't go into details because I'm not allowed to. I got some news today. Good news. Weird news, I guess. So I'm like flabbergasted. I'm very spacey. Shapesense says always attempt a hypno if you base something. I think that is a very fair thing to say in terms of vampire tactics, because why not? You know. Dead and loving it on the bonus clock. You get 7 minutes 30 seconds of bonus time for the duration of the game. As we get closer and closer to the postseason, coaches are going to have to keep in mind that bonus clock does not reset for overtime. Knockdown on the big end blocker over in the left wide zone. Yop Spitzenberg. Turn 2 now for Grimdark Orchard. Ball caged up on the Vampire 8-yard line. Grimdark Orchard standing up their players. A big line of orcs over on the right side of the pitch, shutting down that movement to the right side. Two-die blitz on David Everett. Gets the knockdown. 8+, breaks armor. There's the armor break. Still no removal on the thralls. Another stun. "13 seconds to go." Grimdark Orchard just staying ahead of the Vamps as they continue to target these thralls. Not taking as many marks as I thought they may. I think the Orc team really wants to get some blocks in, but they're being very cautious here. They don't want the vampires to get behind them. Turn 3 now for Dead and Loving It. Finally broke down and bought myself a Steam Deck just in time for, I'm sure, Valve to announce the Steam Deck 2. But I finally got one. Problem is, it's like my 17,000th portable. Two-die blitz by Caldo Vasco. Gets a pal here on Vuoko Pekka. The number 13 rookie lineman breaks armor. Got the KO. Well done. One-man player advantage now for Dead and Loving It. Like, I've got the Switch 2. I've got a Retroid Pocket 5. I've got a PlayStation Portal. And now I'll have a Steam Deck. Dead and Loving It, looking to be caging up with the opposing 8-yard line, it seems. There it is. Rushes right past that confused troll staring up into space. Troll fails their Negatrait roll, that really stupid roll, on a 2+ if they have a friendly player adjacent to them. Otherwise, it's a 4+. And when they fail it, they lose their action and lose their tackle zones. He says, wow, so many rushes. One more rush to get the ball carrier between Caldo Vasco on the left side and Jim McKay, the second on the right. Woo! No fear by S. Beaver. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rushes this turn. Cliffy says, wow, that should have failed 15,000 times. Took a mark with number 11 here in the left wide zone. Taking a mark with Reese Morgan as well. So giving up the blocks to the opponent, trying to stop these orcs from moving. I think maybe he might be threatening to score. El Luberino lowers the rush. Wow! Holy moly! This has gone beyond lowering the rush failure rate. This is some sort of prayer to Nuffle. Look at this! Just dances around the sideline. Oh, man. Oh, boy. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus. 2 pluses for days. Jameson says that's some elf business right there. Levy says, how many dice did he roll in that turn without failing? Let's see. He rolled 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Not so trusty patches. Welcome to the stream. Not so trusty patches says Blood Bowl's easy when you roll that well. Just roll 6s. Like, I don't understand what anyone's problem is. Just roll 6s. Stop not rolling 6s and start rolling 6s. 2-9 blitz on Jim McKay. The second got the POW out of this. And now a 2-die on Thad Evans is going to be a push. Thad Evans playing with a broken arm, but that's all right because he's never going to throw that ball ever for his entire career, which is bound to end in a game or two. Oh, was that a misclick? Was that a misclick on the dodge? Maybe not. Maybe didn't realize that was a 5+ dodge on the ball carrier. Maybe thinking he had to get in on that ball carrier to stop the score. Dead and loving it down. Dead and loving it with 5 rerolls remaining. Turn 4. Black Wolf rooting for the offense. Although Vasto activates and hypnogazes Mutsu Trogsta. We'll see if this succeeds. Yes, indeed it does. So now the ball carrier free from that big in blocker. Unfortunately, nowhere to go unless he jumps or just moves laterally to the left. I mean, he could blitz with the ball carrier, blitz Pizzazz Pekka, and ends up here on the 22. No, so he's gonna blitz. Got through the bloodlust roll on the re-roll. We'll see if this is a score attempt. Gets the knockdown. Has to follow up if he's scoring. Not so trusty Patches says, I love the hypnogaze sound effects. It sounds like it's from a cartoon. Done loving it now, deciding whether or where they're going to end up with this blitzer. Finally failed a rush. Failed another rush. You've got these coming. Spent 2 rerolls to get into the end zone. Dead loving it. Scores well done. You had those coming. You've got a few more coming too. Fails the first reroll, fails the second reroll, has to spend fails the 2 rushes. Has to spend 2 rerolls, but it works out and gets on the board. Shamestone now lowering the rush failure rate for the Grimdark Orchard from the Games Workshop mandated 900% to a house rule 99%. Black Wolf cheering for S. Beaver as he sets up his defense for the first time in this game. 1 more turn left in the first quarter. Grimdark Orchard's going to try to end this half with a tie ball game. They'll get the ball back for the second half and try to win this one 2-1. Column formation for the Vamps as the Thralls are defending the Vampires. Grimdark Orchard to set up their offense. Number 9, the thrower, will be back to receive for sure. Currently 9 on the line for the Orcs. So this really aggressive stance on offense, this is fine here. But when you're up against, let's say you're the same Orc team and you're up against a Skaven team or a Wood Elf team, right? You're up against a team that has a lot of speed. You've got to really be mindful of the blitz kickoff event, because that can ruin your whole drive, right? You've got to set up your formation with the blitz in mind. Shamestone asks, why did you rest ball was safe? SP Beaver says, he could have marked, I should have held, I was feeling the clock tick. Yeah, so the Biggin blocker could have certainly gotten there on 2 rushes and could have blitzed the ball carrier. It's a tough call to make. I think he could have rushed somebody in to get the 2-die block as well. Boy, oh boy. Nuffle says, you know what? I'm sorry I made you spend 2 rerolls. Here's one back. On the brilliant coaching kickoff event, Dead and Loving's going to pick up an extra reroll. Nurgles Rot, welcome to the stream on the 3-stream streak. I keep meaning to add something for that, like some sort of animation or something. I just haven't had the time. That's not true. Come on, that's not true. I was on holiday break. I had plenty of time. I'm just too lazy. I didn't do it. Ninja Gloppy, welcome to the stream. Now, so Trusty Patch says, it's always tempting to score early for Vamps so you don't get called out by Bloodlust. I mean, just as a general strategy, I think that's true for Vampires. Like, just do what you can while you have Thralls, because eventually you won't have Thralls. Ball sitting precariously on the 10-yard line on that left sideline. You really want to pick that up with sure hands, because there's a 3/8 chance that ball goes out of bounds and gets thrown back in somewhere perhaps you don't want it to be thrown back in. "14 seconds left in the first quarter. Grimdark Orchard still has their blitz to spend. They've blocked down the opposing line. Looks like it's going to be a blitz against Bob Franklin, the rookie lineman, over in the left wide zone. Or not. Could be a blitz by the troll. All right. So not taking the blitz with the block player, instead going for the dice. It's still going to be a 2-die though. It's 5 + 1 is 6. You need more than double to get 3 dice. So 6v3 would just be double. But no, going for the 2-die straight ahead here. Gets the knockdown on Reese Morgan. Needs a 7+ to break armor with Mighty Blow. Mighty Blow, a huge skill against these low armor values. Still couldn't break armor though. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, Vamps are a team that likes to score early, turn over the opponent, take the ball, score again. They're much better at defense than offense. Yeah, that's why in the pregame I had suggested that maybe Dead and Loving It might go on defense first, because it's real easy for them, especially against a solid running team like an Orc team, to just bust that cage open, casually take the ball away from the ball carrier and go score quickly. Hypnogaze is very strong, and again, that weighing up just how great they are at the positionals are on a vamp team plus Hypnogaze versus how many thralls you want is a core strategic decision you have to make as a vampire coach. 2-die blitz against Ivan the Animal. Not going to work out unless a reroll is spent. Oh, he's got Ivan. Great. It does work out because that's his player. Gets a Kaz out of this, well done. The Oppo is going to be spent. The Apothecary saves his life. Well done. Give that doctor a raise. .44 seconds to go here in turn 5 at the beginning of the second quarter. Dead and loving it. Man, I mean, I'd be so tempted to go after this ball. I'd be so tempted. Oh, I cannot explain how nice well, not Bloodlust, but how nice the revamped save system in Yakuza 0 Director's Cut is. It's so, that feature alone, I think makes Director's Cut worth it. It's so nice that you don't have to sit through like 7 clicks and like a solid 30 seconds to save your game. You should draw a route to the ball. You mean like this? Like this? With blood dripping? Shapes says, I think holding the formation is a good play. S. Beaver seems to agree. Here's turn 5 for the Grimdark Orchard. Grimdark Orc Hard. Crikey deciding ultimately where the offense wants to be, right? When you're a running team like this, right, you're not thinking in parts like you might be on maybe a more agile or more fast team. You really want a cohesive formation, a cohesive unit. So you're not just, at least the way I think about it, I'm sure there's a million ways to think about it, but the way I think about it is I think, all right, oh no, the ball stays on the pitch, but that's a turnover. Failed the pickup. Despite having the free reroll with sure hands. Turn 6 for Dead and Loving. I bet you wish he went after the ball now. But the way I think about it is like, all right, who do I want to pick up this ball? Where do I want them to end up? Can they do it safely? All right, if they can, how do I get my blocks and do this in such a way that everyone kind of stays together? I'm controlling the pitch, right? I'm wide enough where I'm controlling enough of the pitch where he can't really encircle me. It gives me movement options. Can I get back to center pitch to give me a maximum number of options that I have? Am I too close to the edge of the line where he can run around, do an end run here to try to blitz my ball carrier? It all has to kind of sync together. That's especially true for like teams like Dwarves, right? Which apparently have changed. But where you need part of the power of the team is being grouped up, right? You're a heavy hitter team. You want to get your assists on your block, but you're a running team. You want to stay grouped up, protect that ball carrier, and you want to have enough players to roll enough dice to get enough hits to punch a hole through the defense and get enough players through where the ball's still protected, your cage is still set up, you're still good to go. It can be a very effective tactic against teams like this to pick players off. Rush blitz, got the pow on the thrower. Ivan the Animal, the star player, looking for a 9+. He's got the armor break. Big removal by Ivan the Animal Death Shroud. Unfortunately, I think that's his second rush. So he's just gonna sit by the sideline. Yeah, you fail all of these. All of these 2+, you're due those failures. A 2+ dodge to a 2+ rush to get Frank Drebin the second into position to frantically try to somehow stop the surf on the Ivan the Animal. Spifey says, I mean, he has so many team rerolls. One die block against Mutsu Troxel will be a both standing result, as Dead and Loving It continuing to run down this bonus clock down to 3 minutes 30 seconds. Yep. That's another fail rush. Is he all square at this point? Has he paid for that one turn? He's got no rerolls remaining. Turn 6 for Grimdark Orchard. Has he made a move that wasn't to rush the whole game? Electric Man says 1 is the loneliest number. What did I eat today? Oh, a BLT. I had a late lunch. I ate a BLT. No, I did not have a late lunch. What am I talking about? I had a BLT. God, my days are like blurred together. I had a BLT and fries. Ellie Marina says a BLT is not a sandwich, it's a collection of condiments. You know what? I'll give that to you. I love a good BLT, but I give that to you. Ninja Coffee says your day was weird today. My day was very weird today. You've been drinking again, getting into the Bloodvisor cakes. It's a very, very weird day today. 35 seconds to go now for Grimdark Orchard. They've got 3 turns to get on the board. That means they need to end turn 7 in scoring position. They've got plenty of blocks to take. They've got plenty of rerolls remaining. They've just got to get this ball back in their hands. And that means at least blocking Ivan the Animal. So number 6 currently marked by Caldo Vasco. It's a 3+ dodge. I don't think he can get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, he can. 2 rushes on the blitz here. Pizzazz Pekka, on the other hand, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the same thing. He could instead go 1, 2, 3. No, he doesn't want to come this direction. Definitely when it comes to the right side. Good removal of the thrall. Definitely wants it. Definitely wants to come in from the right side so he can get the surf. If he comes in this direction, the problem is he's got options that are on pitch that he can push the player to, and so he must. Electric Man says, I thought you said it was Orc Hard. Orc Hard. Not blitzing Ivan. Taking the blitz on Caldo Vasco instead. No armor break here. This clears number 6. So he'll probably try to set up a scrum around the ball at this point. Yeah, number 8 comes back to form a scrum around the ball. So now he's going to have to split this team into 2 units at least, right? Which we were just talking about is suboptimal for a team like the Orcs. So he's going to have one unit in the scrum around the ball to try to recover, another unit downfield to try to score. Unfortunately for the Orcs, they've lost their thrower. The thrower currently knocked out. When you're knocked out at the beginning of a drive, you roll a d6 for every single player that's knocked out. On a 4+, that player immediately goes in the reserve box and is ready to go for that drive. Otherwise, they continue to remain knocked out until the beginning of a future drive where they'll roll again. Another removed thrall. All things considered here, these vampires not doing too bad here. Just have 2 players removed. Dark Orchard on the bonus clock. Woo-hoo-hoo. Not a problem. 4+ pickup, not a problem. Pizzazz Pekka, the lineman, now in possession of the ball. Excuse me, Ivan. Oh, you say you're a star player? You say you're a star? Oh, yeah, you are. You say you're a star player? Oh. Tries to dodge away. Can't get away. The ball now on the 16-yard line. Yeah, I think the blitz on Ivan would have been the preferable blitz. That would have opened up the ball, and then he could have set up a cage around the ball, at least some protection on the ball. Recover the ball, spent turn 7 figuring out how to get that ball downfield, and then turn 8 getting that player, whoever that player is, into the end zone. That's what Trusty Patch says. Removing thralls is always a good tactic. Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, a vampire team just falls apart once they've lost their thralls. The problem here is, in my opinion anyway, the Orc team's down 0-1. Ending this half 1-1 would have put them in a position to win. Ending it 0-1 kind of puts them in a position to draw. But if they can get rid of all the thralls, they could be in position to win. Going down 0-2 is going to be a problem. Mr. Rocker Crocker says, the first time against Bams, I removed all the thralls from the pitch. My opponent rolled a single 1 in the entire game and fixed it with pro. A thrall armor break on a biggin blocker. Boy, you are... Are you looking to die, sir? That's not the type of fight you want to start. I assure you. Dude, I block against the number 5 blitzer over in the left wide zone. Gets the knockdown. Another armor break, another stun. And now, I think the Orc team at this point is just trying to stop this score. 2 significant armor breaks. Dead and loving it. Under 3 minutes on the bonus clock. Remember, that's for the duration of the game. It's called Ovasco to safety away from that troll. So now if the troll wants to block down Coldo Vasco, it will be on a blitz. And I don't think that troll will be doing that. 2-die without the block skill against somebody with the block skill. I don't think that's going to be the blitz. Turn 7 now for Grimdark Orchard. They've got 2 free players to go against the thrower. The thrower doesn't have the block skill. They do. So they can get a 2-die blitz on the thrower here. And then it'll just be a question of keeping the ball secure for a turn. There's the first mark. Here's the blitz. 2-die blitz. What's right? He's a strength of 4. He needed one more player in there. But you know what? When you get the right face, not bad. Not bad. All right, so now keeping the ball secure. This is the trick. Didn't get the removal here on Frank Drebin. Has one more reroll. Probably going to pull the troll back. Probably ends the turn with a dodge by Pizzazz Pekka. Oh, spent the reroll here. Keep the drive alive. No more rerolls for Grimdark Orchard. Good armor break on a Thrall. Got nothing substantial out of it, though. Wasn't able to succeed. He had... Oh, he wasn't free over here. Didn't really have a free player to make that a 2+ with the troll. And now it's just going to be down to the 3+ by Pizzazz Pekka. No problem. Good rush to get 3 players on the ball. I think that's the best they can do here. Good turn by Grimdark Orchard to try to stop this score. Two-die block here against Black Twig Spartan. Dead and Loving on turn 8. They really only have one vampire to do anything with. And that's Caldo Vasco. Probably... Let's see, where can he get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, can you get him somewhere where he can hypnogaze someone and be an assist for a blitz? Why put the Thrall here? Why not move the Thrall further down? Succeeds in the Bloodlust roll. Here's the blitz. So he's going to go for the blitz with Caldo Vasco. Pushes onto the ball. We'll see where the ball ends up. Not ideal. Does get a second mark off the ball, though. Ball bounces back to the 18-yard line. Blitz has been spent. So he can dodge out for the 2+. 1, 2, 3. 5, 6. He can't move backwards after that if he wants to do that. So I think instead he goes 3+ to a... Oh, boy. If he goes directly over the ball, it's a 3+ to a 3+ to a 2+, 2+. I'm sorry, 3+, 2+. Oh boy, what a tricky spot. Give it to Ivar like a hero. Dead and Loving it under 2 minutes to go here on the bonus clock. I mean, Ivan the Animal is an option, right? He can stand up Frank Drebin and just hypnogaze away Bloody Plowman, and that frees up the ball for the star player to try to score. 4+ on the pickup, though. Oh, boy. Failed the Bloodlust roll. Oh no! Oh, has to keep the drive alive here. Good dodge. Has to feed on a thrall. Remember, this is not an armor roll. This is an injury roll. Here's the KO. Ivan the animal now. The only hope to get on the board a second time is the 5+ pickup. Let's go. Ah! Ah! Ivan the animal fails. Of all those die rolls, which one are you gonna fail? You gonna fail the 5+ pickup? No. You're gonna fail that rush. That's what you're gonna fail. Mr. Rocker Crocker lowers the rush failure rate. Let's see if I caught that. Did I? Oh man, 6, 1. See, S. Beaver's tactical mistake there. You saw he had it down pat at the beginning. Rolled a 6, rolled a 6. He forgot to roll a 6 the third time. That was the issue. Oh boy. So credit where credit is due there. Grimdark Orchard, after failing to recover the ball here on offense, almost the threat of the defense scoring here and putting the Vampires up 2-0, recognize the imperative of keeping that ball from getting into the end zone, was able to secure that ball with 3 players, despite being up against this Vampire team that has Hypnogaze that can just shut players off. They did what they needed to do to stop the score, so well done by Crikey. Six, 1. That was a that was what? That was a 5+ to a 4+ to a 2+. That's the end of the first half. Dead and loving it. Are in the lead 1-0. Grimdark Orchard, it's going to be on offense to start the second half of this game. We're 4 minutes away from game number 2. We're going to see how this game plays out a little bit. And then depending on how this drive shakes out, we'll either continue to watch this game to its conclusion, or we'll kick over to game number 2. Dead loving it now with 11 back on the pitch. Hey man, as a Vampire team having 11 on the pitch at the half, good for you. 11v11 on the pitch. The number 9 thrower will be back to receive once again. 9 on the line of scrimmage once more for Grimdark Orchard. We'll see if they reposition here or not. Got to be mindful of the Hypnogaze. Grimdark Orchard down to 1 minute 13 seconds to set up their formation, deciding to put the troll over in the right tackle position. Now they have the number 1 big end blocker as the center. Here's the kick. No kicker for the Vampire team. Middling kick. The weather's going to stay the same. Not a middling kick. Very short kick. To the 6-yard line as Grimdark Orchard gets the second half underway. So they'll almost certainly try to set up the cage first. They'll take their blocks. They'll end the turn with trying to pick up the ball with with the thrower. Oh, maybe not with the thrower. They might pick the ball up next turn. It's so tricky because it's so close to the line of scrimmage. You've really got to interleave tackle zones between the ball and where the vampire team is because of Hypnogaze, right? If they get a couple of Hypnogaze players on, say, the front of your cage, and that ball's not in the hands of a thrower, they don't even need to blitz. Wow, all right, looks like this might be a wide cage. It's going to depend on the blocks. This works out thanks to the block skill. No problem, Elden Reno. Well, we'll catch your game or not. It's going to depend on how this one goes, but good luck to both of you. Split screen. Can you even run 2 instances of Blood Bowl 3? Like, will the software let you? I mean, it can't, right? Because I know there's information in app data, so it can't possibly let you run 2 instances. I mean, I guess it could if they just really want you to screw everything up. MAML red zone, we need it. Troll gets through the really stupid roll here on the blitz. Always scary taking the blitz with the big guy, because if you fail that negatrait roll, you've lost your blitz for the turn. 2 die blitz. Gets the knockdown. Needs a 7+ with Mighty Blow to break armor on Reese Morgan over in the right wide zone. Oh, 2 accounts would probably work. No armor break. Always disappointing when you go against low armor value and you really try to shore up that armor break with something like Mighty Blow, and you just don't get it. Turn 9 now for Dead and Loving It. Take a mark on the troll by Thad Evans. 3 assists now. 4 assists for the 2-die block against Fuji Ambrosia. Gets the push. Alan Green on the block. Has now opened up this lane here. Really nowhere to go beyond that, unless he's going to Hypnogaze. And also just try to apply some pressure on the left side, hold the line straight ahead, and that can force the offense to commit to the right wide zone, which is going to limit their movement options. .39 seconds to go in the turn for Dead and Loving It. Remember, they have just 54 seconds on the bonus clock remaining, so they're going to have to figure out how to get these turns under 2 minutes here in the second half. A whopping 5 rerolls, which I would say for a lot of teams is too much. Not so for a vampire team. As you can tell, they're basically rolling a rush with every activation of their vampires. Sometimes worse, right? You can see there, that was a 3+ bloodlust rather than a 2+. Knockdown on Gravenstein's Stone Tosh. No armor break. Follows up on the blitz. Plenty of movement left with Father Mayhe, but stays right where he is. And there's that pressure on the right side. 45 seconds on the bonus clock remaining for Dead and Loving It. Turn 10 for Grimdark Orchard. Lefty says, man, S Beaver is definitely going to run out of the bonus clock. Probably. Yeah, probably. Crikey, trying to figure out where, trying to figure out where this ball is going to end up, which means the team has to move with it. And so you've kind of got to work backwards on how this team's going to work. What blocks are you going to, I'm going to pick up the ball. I'm going to end up here, meaning what blocks am I going to take? Where's my blitz going to be? Where's my blitzer going to end up? And then okay, well this area of the pitch here, I'll probably control this. Ball will be safe here. That's where I'm going to end. That's where I'm going to develop this drive. Looks like the ball is going to remain where it is on the 6. We'll see here as the turn clock winds down. Another failed pickup by the thrower. The ball indeed does end up on the 6, just perhaps not the way Crikey intended. Turn 10 for Den loving it. His hands are usually pretty solid. 1 of 2 catches. He's got a handoff. He's got 2 or 3 passes, but just can't pick this ball up off the ground. Tudai gets Yacht Spitzenberg. This will be a push. I have these soaps, like weird soaps, and the one I have currently in the shower. Oh no, double skulls. He is gonna spend one of the 5 rerolls here. Quad skulls means Reese Morgan gets knocked to the ground, and that is a turnover. Turn 11 back to the Grimdark Orchard. The one I have in the shower right now is, I think it's seaweed and sea salt. And I'm just like, what? What? Whoever said, you know what? I really need to scrub down with seaweed and salt. That's what I need. Like, what? What? I mean, just go full stupid at that point. Like, just make your soap like chicken nuggets and ice cream. Just make it something ridiculous. Minute 5 on the clock here for Grimdark Orchard. Not so trusty Patches, thank you for the bits. I heard chicken nuggets and ice cream. 2-9 block, this will work out due to the block skill. There's another armor break on a throw. Just get the stun out of it. Two-dive block on Buddy Fox will be a knockdown. Finally, the ball gets into the hands of the thrower. No movement with the ball, so the ball's going to remain on the 6. A block taken against Alan Green is an armor break. There's another removed thrall. Well done. The thralls start to dwindle. 2-die block gets Colonel Chi will be a POW as well. Just 8+ on this runner. But doesn't get the armor break. Turn 11 for Dead and Loving It. They're down to 4 thralls on the pitch. Might not be too much of a problem at this point, seeing as they still have 4 rerolls. 4 rerolls with 6 turns remaining. They might not need to rely on these thralls too much at this point. Which is really generally the goal, right? You don't want to have to rely on the thralls. You want to give yourself as many options as possible for movement, for positioning, for actions. Blitz on the left side here. Oh, I thought he failed it on the reroll. This is Gravenstein Stone Tosh. So didn't re-roll that, didn't re-roll the Bloodlust. So now needs to end next to a Thrall or else it'll be a turnover. Currently standing right next to David Everett. But doesn't want to bite the block lineman. Good call here. Another remove Thrall, down to 3. 2-die block against Mutsu Trogsta gets a push. One die on the Troll will be a push as well. As Dead and Loving It down to 30 seconds on the bonus clock. Not a lot of movement here by the boss. The Vampire team continues to slowly push in on the Orcs. The Orcs standing their ground, not really, not even really looking to open up a lane, just really going after those Thralls, biding their time, and trying to keep this ball secure. So that'll be the end of the turn, as he doesn't re-roll Bloodlust. Colonel Shi moves over in the left wide zone, and that is it. Turn 12 now for Grimdark Orchard. Cleffy says, killing all the Thralls has been a fairly consistent plan for most teams playing against the Vamps all competition. I mean, absolutely, right? We talked about it in the pregame. That's the big weakness for the Vampire team. How they have to rely on the Thralls, and they also remove their own Thralls, right? They remove their own players. So Vampire teams tend to run out of steam as the game progresses. I would say more so than any other team. I can't think of another team whose advantage dwindles as dramatically as a Vampire team. as the game progresses. Two die block on the rookie. Bob Franklin gets a push here. So still no real interest in really pushing forward here. Continuing to control center pitch. Again, going after those thralls. So what this suggests is that they're playing for the draw, which is totally fair. Right? That was sort of the key decision. If they couldn't get on the board at the end of the half, then well, if I can't get the opposing team down to the number of players or the number of rerolls or the number of resources that I want them to, I'm probably playing for a draw. The advantage dwindles because I spend all my sixes on rushes in the first 3 turns. Grimdark Orchard shifts the ball to the left a little bit, still on the 6-yard line. 2-die gets Bob. Franklin's going to be double skulls. Spent the team reroll, but that is a big guy with loner. Can't get through the loner roll, and the thrall will knock down the troll. Turn 12 for Dead and Loving It. Final turn of the 3rd quarter. Did I miscount? He's got 5 thralls. No, he's got 4 thralls. I miscounted. Not a whole lot of action with Ivan either. Just surprising to me because Ivan is a very reliable player, right? With block, he's got Juggernaut. Yes, he has loner for sure. But he's not beating up your players. There we go. Ivan repositions back into the secondary. I guess he really was already in the secondary. He's back in the safety position. Colonel Chi hypnogazes Gravenstein Stonetosh in the left wide zone. Might be going for a blitz on the ball carrier here. There's the blitz. Failed the Bloodlust roll. Is going to spend the reroll. Got through Bloodlust. 1 die. 2 die. 1 die. 2 die. 1 die. That's a thrower. That's a 2-die blitz. Double Pals is going to do it. Very well done. You've got to watch out for Hypnogaze. I was going to say he's not going to re-roll this, is he? But he does. He re-rolls it once to try to catch the ball. Doesn't work out. Ball's going to bounce out of the hands of Father Mayhe and remain on the 6-yard line, just outside the left wide zone. So number 2 was protecting the ball. So the ball carrier was here. Right? These are the players of consequence. What he did was hypnogaze this player. So this is no longer a tackle zone. Has marked this player here. This is not letting an assist. 2+ dodge with that high agility comes in 4v3 on the blitz. That is a 2-die blitz on the ball carrier. Well done by S. Beaver. Ball marked by Father Mayhe as Grimdark Orchard tries to figure out how they're going to recover this ball. I imagine they're going to blitz Father Mayhe away. Or not blitz, but block Father Mayhe away. It'll be a ball pickup then by the thrower. So they'll get an assist in, here or here somewhere. Block at number 6, I think. It'll push Father Mayhe away. The thrower can recover the ball. But then the question is, where does the ball go? Like pull number 8 in, depending on how the block goes. We'll still have a blitz available at that point. SB Beaver, thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it. Dude, blitz gets a pow against Father May. But did take it as a blitz instead. Pushing on the ball, trying to pop the ball out, it seems. And now put the ball into the tackle zone of Colonel Chi. It can be a 2-die block on Colonel Chi, but Colonel Chi has the block skill. Gravenstein Stone Tosh would really just be looking for the push. 2-die on David Everett will be a pow. Takes a mark with number 6. I don't know how necessary the mark was. 39 seconds on the bonus clock for Grimdark Orchard. Oh wait, they don't have a block. So they're gonna have to form a scrum around this ball. Problem is they're running out of time. We're in the 4th quarter now. They've got 4 turns to try to draw this game. Went for the pickup, works out. All right, so No Scrum is going to pick up the ball here with Pizzazz Pekka. It's going to remain marked by Colonel Chi. Turn 13 for Dead and Loving It. So they just have to stop the score and they win this game. They've got 4 turns to do it. They don't have to get super aggressive if they don't want to, but of course if they do, and they're able to recover the ball, they can get another touchdown, which counts for standing. That's right. Not so trusty patch says no bonus clock for either team now. Each team is going to have to spend these final turns in the 4th quarter just with the turn clock. 2 minutes a turn. One die blitz against Gravenstein Stone Tosh. Gets the knockdown here. Breaks armor with Ivan. Roll a 9. Can use Ivan's once per game here to make it a 10 and break armor. I don't see why not. Yes, indeed. Gets a stun out of it. These are great stuns as the clock winds down. Good knockdown on the ball carrier thanks to the block skill, and that ball is going to bounce all the way up to the 2-yard line. Still not quite where Dead and Loving It wants it to be. Takes a mark on number 8, so he can't get a full complement of players moving forward, provided he can grab this ball. Turn 14 now for Grimdark Orchard. 3 turns to get into the end zone. 2 rerolls remaining. The Troll takes a mark against Frank Drebin II. That's the vampire thrower, but don't be fooled. Just because he's a thrower, he still has a strength of 4. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Taking these marks, but no blitzes yet. You think maybe it's going to be a blitz with number 9 against the Thrall? Blitz with number 9, hope for the knockdown, follow up. Nope. Just going to be a knockdown here with Bloody Plowman. So number 9 still marked by number... Oh no, number 5's his teammates. I'm certainly paying attention. There we go, good pickup here. Finally, the thrower gets the ball in his hands. Moves laterally to the right. still on the Orc side of the field. They're now on the Orc 2-yard line. Ten seconds on the clock. One die block against Ivan's going to be a skull. He's going to use team reroll. Ooh, got the pal. Looking for a 9+ here. Doesn't get it. That is the end of the turn. So as it stands, this thrower can't score without rushing. There's 13 spaces from the line of scrimmage to the end zone. The thrower has an MA of 9. With 2 turns remaining, that is 10 spaces, leaving 3 spaces left. That's 3 rushes of a possible 4 that the thrower's going to have to make the score. Unless, of course, it's a handoff to somebody riskier. Oh, SP's got the 6s back. Hypnogaze is number 3. Black Twig Spartan over on the left side of the line. Hypnogaze is the troll as well, so now has a lane right through here to go after the ball carrier. Well, we take it this way, I think. No, he's going to take it this way. Has the assist to make that a 2-die blitz. Here we go. 2-die blitz. Got the pal. Keeping the pressure on the thrower. This is why Hypnogaze is so incredibly good. And now I don't know if the thrower can make it. 2 and 5 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, the thrower can no longer make it into the end zone. So it's going to have to come down to one of these forward orcs in order to tie this game. He just gave him the finger. That's illegal. Deciding whether to use the final reroll. He says, no, not worth it. Wanted to get another mark on the ball here. Turn 15 for Grimdark Orchard. He said, you're number 1. Not the time for that troll to be really stupid, but doesn't have an ally next to him. So this fails that die roll on a 50-50. Grimdark Orchard has to end this turn in scoring position, and it is a rough spot to be in. Thrower can no longer score because the thrower needs 3 MA to stand up. That means on turn 15, the maximum distance they could move is 4. It's 3 to stand up. That leaves them with 2 plus 2 rushes is 4. 4 and then 7 on the next turn. 4 plus 7 is 11, which is not enough to get to the end zone, which at this point is 14 spaces. 2-die blitz on Caldo Vasco. Gets a push. He's going to have to pick this ball up with the thrower and hand off. He did not declare the handoff, though, so he can't hand the ball off. Could still hand off next turn. Oh, this is scary. This is scary. Yop takes the block, but now Yop can't score. So it's going to come down to Black Twig Spartan on a mighty dodge to get into scoring position. Unfortunately, does he have anybody left? Breaks armor on Ivan. Ran out of time on the. No, he didn't run out of time. He hit end turn, so couldn't get the lineman downfield either. Could the lineman even have made it? No, he'd be 1 turn out. So I think that's gonna do it. I think the Orc team is not gonna be able to get on the board at this point. Dead and Loving It still could though. Dead and Loving It are indeed going to threaten this score. So who are they going to blitz with? Failed Bloodlust with Frank Drebin. He was the blitzer. He's still going to blitz. He's fell on his face. It's a Grimdark Orchard now. I think their job is to just try to prevent this vampire team from being able to score. Honestly, I think they can do that by just getting the thrower as far down pitch as possible. I guess the thrower could throw the ball to somebody to hand off to Father Mayhe. The pitch clearly needs some maintenance. Blitz on the downfield. Vampire blitzer here spins the final reroll, looking for the knockdown. Gets the knockdown. Doesn't get an ASPP out of it, but gets a stun. That's effectively going to stop the score. And this game will end 1-0. Well played by both coaches there. Vampire team was able to get on the board early in this game with their defensive score, and or not a defensive score, it was their offensive score. It was an early offensive score. They were able to get on the board. They stopped the score from the Orcs at the end of the first half. The Orcs gave it another go in the second half here, and really just couldn't get this ball across the line of scrimmage. Excellent defense by the Vampire team, and well done to S. Beaver for keeping these Thralls alive as long as possible. Crikey here identifying that the Thralls are really the key to this Vampire team, went after them time and again, just couldn't get them removed fast enough, and the Vampires were able to lean into their strengths and win this one 1-0. While this game winds down, I'm going to set up for the second one. All right, I think we're going to call this 1-0 here at this point. And we're going to try to catch as much of game number 2 that we're probably not going to see a whole lot of at this point. We're going to try to catch as much of game number 2 as we can here. Yeah, 1-0 the final. Well done here by Dead and Loving It. With that win, Dead and Loving It, it's now 3-2-3. They're in 5th place. Again, congratulations to the Vampire team. Well played by both coaches. That was a lot of fun to watch. But we're going to head over to game number 2 now, which we'll catch a little bit of before game number 3 this evening.